Hey guys, Cam here from Your Guitar Academy with another quick click. And this time it's in the style of Dimebag Darrell. As Ollie and I have been listening to quite a lot of Pantera in the office recently, and I've been trying to sort of crack what makes his playing so good, especially like his vibrato. I've been really thinking about, although not the main focus of the lick today. So yeah, hopefully I'll go through the lick that I sort of came up with from analysing his playing and show you some of the like key areas that I sort of uncovered with his playing. But before we get started in that, I'll go through the tone that I've got going to. It's a very simple tone. I've got a Encore telly, which is like £100 or something, going into maybe a 15 times that price Kemper, which is going into a diesel Herbert style amp. I actually thought I got the amps wrong. I told them to dial in a diesel, but it's actually a Randall that Dimebag uses. But this one turned out to sound really good, so we kept it anyway. So there's the lick there. And so as you can hear, it's got like a bit of an outsidey flavor to it, which is something that I kind of picked apart when I was hearing his playing. Especially some of the solos that I referenced for this are the ones from like Cowboys from Hell or I'm Broken, were the two really ones that sort of piqued my ears when I was sort of thinking about this. And it was hearing those sort of, you know, the blues notes being played and some unison notes as well, just giving like that kind of different flavor. You know, you might hear it a little confusing almost when you've hit the same note a few times in a row. And so I really just trusted my ear when coming up for this one. I knew I wanted that. I sort of kept it in E minor pentatonic to start off with, just as like a bass camp. And I sort of worked around there to think of notes that I might want to pick and choose and move from around there. And the first one that I really wanted to do was the flat 5, the blues note, because that's like such a great way to sort of, you can either keep it in blues or, but in, you know, metal and stuff, it's such an important note. Just having that flat 5 tritone just gives such a gnarly tone. And so I started with that, and a bit of chromaticism in there too. Going up to that B there, so that's just within the E minor pentatonic. And so I had that little pattern there. And I thought, where's this else taking me? I heard it going up, you know, building up higher and higher. And then I thought, you know, what's like kind of the notes that I like? And it's like when I'm playing an E-shaped Dorian, I hear this up. So I'm sort of mixing those two together. That's what I thought. And it's a nice easy shape as well. You just repeat that sort of 12, 14, 15, 12, 14, 15, you know, using those same notes on those two strings. And so that was the first two, and I thought, let's have a look about how I can arrange these to make them sound kind of like a bit more interesting and peakier, rather than just going and create a bit more of a cool pattern out of it. So I sort of broke them down into two sections, like two little halves there. And then I had it going up from there. Just doing that nice sort of balancing like side to side, building up that tension before you sort of take it even higher. And so what I ended up doing, not through thought of like thinking, yeah, I'm going to use this mode or whatever, but I ended up going to sort of an E Phrygian dominant. And if you know that, that's great, but it's not a necessity to sort of be able to play this lick or anything. But I just heard, you know, that tense Phrygian sound of having that E in the flat 2. Another really sort of tense, really stereotypical metal kind of thing, like the flat 5. Just those semitones. And then I thought maybe the flat 3rd, but it didn't quite sound right. I heard it going higher. And so the natural major 3 was the really one that sounded just right when I was coming up with this. And so I sort of put it together in what I'd come up with so far. And I really like how that sounded, and I thought, cool, that's nice, and then I'll add a bit more of a pattern to it to make it sort of fit. And there we go. So I sort of just did like a little, you know, like you would do with any other scale, just to sort of scale it from, but just using the notes that I picked, really, just sort of in between. You could think of it like Dorian or anything, but it's just, you know. And you've got a few nice tritones in there anyway. and some minor thirds, all giving that really sort of like out there sound, but all keeping you rooted over like an E chord that you might be playing it over. And that was really it. You know, from there there's just a few minute like little refining bits to make it all match up, sort of adding when I go to the B string, I do 2 hits on that. Two. And then after all of that, I ended it on the flat 5 there with a nice big like wide vibrato, but really quick to give it that proper squeal. And then from there, you know, you've got such a out there landing note. You can go anywhere from there. So it's a really good place to sort of take off to if you're doing a solo in that kind of style. So if, like, you know, I've just explained this all to you and you like to hear it a bit slower, I shall play it for you slowly now. So here we go, really nice and slow. And see if you can just hear those notes that I talked about. This one. All those kind of fun notes. All right, here we go. So there you go, that was the solo really slow, and if you are paying attention to my right hand when I was playing that, I'll make sure the camera goes on it, you can see that I was alternate picking it. Obviously when you get up to really high speeds, it's kind of hard to keep that clean, so you're welcome to use some like legato and stuff to try and do it, but having like it all alternate picked gives it a really nice attack and sort of equals it out and keeps that intensity that and the sort of the building of tension that I thought this lick was all about before, you know, going into like big bends or something to release the tension. But yeah, so let's have a little listen to how this sort of fits into a jam now, the way I've talked about it.
Thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to get access to the interactive tab for this lick, join our YJ Club. Plus, if your guitar learning is moving slower than you like, or you're struggling for focus, our YJ Club is exactly what you need. With custom learning pathways, an awesome website, progress tracking, and access to our community of students and mentors, you have everything you need to achieve your guitar goals. We'll see you there.